My father-in-law handed me a fishing journal at the end of every trip for 12 years. Always the same kind. Those waterproof notebooks you can buy at any tackle shop. Always with his neat handwriting recording what we caught, what lures worked, water temperature, weather conditions. I kept them all in a plastic bin in my garage. Never looked at them twice. Robert always said the same thing when he handed them to me. Keep good records, son. A man who doesn't learn from his experiences is bound to repeat his mistakes. I thought he was talking about fishing. Robert was 71 when the stroke took him. Quick, they said. He was gone before the ambulance arrived. My wife Jennifer took it harder than I expected. They'd had a complicated relationship. Her and her father. She was his only child, raised by a single dad after her mother left when Jennifer was 6. Robert had been tough on her growing up. Demanding. Critical. She'd spent most of her adult life trying to prove something to him. At the funeral, Jennifer stood rigid beside me, her hand cold in mine. We'd been married for 15 years. I was 62, she was 48. Second marriage for both of us. My kids from my first marriage were grown, living their own lives. Jennifer and I had built what I thought was a good life together. Comfortable, stable, safe. The weekend after the funeral, Jennifer wanted to clean out Robert's house. I'll never forget standing in his garage, looking at decades of accumulated tools, fishing gear, and memories. All this junk, Jennifer said, waving at the shelves. We should just hire someone to haul it all away. I looked at Robert's collection of rods, his tackle boxes organized with the precision of a surgeon, his shelf of fishing journals, 40 years worth. Let me go through it first. Your dad would have wanted me to keep some of this. She shrugged. Whatever. Just don't bring too much home. Our garage is already full of your stuff. I took the journals. All of them. Not just the ones from our trips together. 73 journals spanning 4 decades. I loaded them into boxes and stacked them in my garage next to the bin that held the 12 he'd given me directly. They sat there for 3 weeks before I opened the first one. I don't know why I pulled them out that Sunday afternoon. Jennifer was at what she called a business lunch with her partner Mark. They ran a consulting firm together, had for the past 8 years. She was always working weekends, always busy. I'd learned not to complain. I made coffee and sat in the garage, opening the oldest journal first. January, 1978. Robert's younger handwriting, more energetic than the careful script I knew. Page after page of fishing notes. Lake Washington, 6 base. Sunny, 68 degrees. Green spinnerbait most effective. Then I noticed the margins. Small notes, almost like afterthoughts. M. Called again. Hung up when I answered. Another one. Saw her car at the Hilton. License plate still in glove box from when I followed last month. I flipped forward. More margin notes. Lawyer says, I need documentation. Taking photos today. And later. She doesn't know I copied the credit card statements. $4,000. $200 at jewelry stores. I never got any jewelry. Robert's wife, Jennifer's mother, he documented her affair in the margins of his fishing journals. My hands started shaking. I grabbed one of the journals he'd given me. June 2011, our trip to Lake Chelan. We'd caught 8 rainbow trout, but in the margin, in that same small handwriting, Jennifer's car at the Four Seasons again, Tuesday, 2 p.m. Same room number as last time, 1,847. Called the front desk pretending to be Mark. They connected me to the room without question. I opened another journal. September 2013, October 2015, March 2018. Every single one had margin notes. 12 years of Robert documenting my wife's affair with her business partner. The dates, the times, the hotels, credit card charges for rooms I'd never been to, dinner receipts when she'd told me she was at business conferences, jewelry purchases I'd never seen, transfers from our joint account to one I didn't know existed. I spread all 12 journals across my workbench. The coffee went cold as I read. Robert had documented everything with the same methodical precision he used to record fishing data. Not just the affair, but the money. Our money. My retirement savings slowly drained away to fund a life I knew nothing about. Journal entry. April 2016. Jennifer withdrew $15,000 from Tom's retirement account. Told him it was for business expansion. Saw her and Mark looking at condos in Bellevue yesterday. The realtor called her. That's Mark's last name. I felt sick. The numbers started adding up in my head. 15,000 here, 20,000 there. Investment opportunities that Jennifer handled because you don't like dealing with financial stuff, honey. Business expenses that needed immediate capital. The cabin she wanted to buy as a rental property that we'd co-own with Mark. Journal entry. July 2019. Total withdrawn from joint accounts, $287,000. Confirmed with bank manager, old friend from high school. He showed me the signature cards. Tom's signature forged on at least 8 major transactions. Criminal fraud. But I can't tell him. He won't believe me. Same thing happened with my ex-wife. By the time I had proof, she'd already poisoned Jennifer against me. I won't make that mistake again. I have to show him, not tell him. My heart was hammering. I read faster, hands trembling. Journal entry, November 2020. Mark's wife filed for divorce. Jennifer told Tom they're restructuring the business. Reality. Mark left his wife for Jennifer. They're waiting for the right time. Found text messages on phone Jennifer left at my house. 2 more years, then we'll have everything we need. Tom's almost 60. Early retirement will look natural. They were planning to wait until I retired, then take everything and disappear together. I was 60 now. Right on schedule. The last journal entry was dated 3 weeks before Robert's stroke. January 2023. I've documented everything. 12 years of evidence. Bank statements, photographs, hotel records, text messages I recovered from Jennifer's old phones she threw away. I've hired a forensic accountant, Patricia Chen in Seattle. She has copies of everything. I've paid her retainer from my own savings. Money Jennifer doesn't know about. Tom, if you're reading this, I tried to tell you once. Remember 5 years ago at Christmas? I asked if you were sure everything was okay with Jennifer, with your finances. You laughed, said everything was perfect, said Jennifer handled all that, and you trusted her completely. The same words I said about my wife 30 years ago. I couldn't force you to see it. Believe me, I tried. But men like us, we don't want to believe the person we love could betray us so completely. So I did the only thing I could. I documented everything, every lie, every theft, every moment she chose Mark over you while pretending to be your loving wife. The business is fraudulent. Mark and Jennifer have been billing clients through a shell company and keeping 40% off the books. When you retire, they plan to dissolve the legitimate business and keep running the profitable shell company without you. You'll get nothing while they walk away with everything you helped build. I'm dying, son. The doctors gave me 6 months, maybe less. This stroke, whenever it comes, won't be a surprise. Patricia Chen has my medical records, has everything. When I'm gone, she'll contact you. Jennifer will try to throw away these journals, try to erase any trace of me from your life like she erased me from hers years ago. Don't let her. I love my daughter. God help me. I do. But I love you too. You took her in when she was broken from her first marriage. You were patient with her, kind to her. You didn't deserve this. You deserved honesty. You deserved loyalty. You deserved a wife who loved you as much as you loved her. I'm sorry I couldn't save you from the pain, but I could prepare you for it. Use this evidence. Protect yourself. And please, don't make the mistake I made. Don't wait until you have nothing left. The journal fell from my hands. I sat there in the garage until dark, reading and rereading Robert's notes. The man had spent his final years protecting me, documenting every betrayal while pretending to teach me about fishing. I heard Jennifer's car in the driveway. It was almost 9. Another long business meeting. I swept the journals back into their boxes and shoved them behind my tool chest. When she came in, I was sitting at the kitchen table, hands wrapped around a beer I hadn't touched. "Hey, babe," she said, kissing the top of my head. She smelled like expensive cologne, not the cheap stuff I wore. "Sorry I'm so late. Mark and I had to finish the presentation for the Portland client. I looked up at her. Really looked at her. Jennifer was 48. Attractive. Blonde hair she kept perfectly styled. She was wearing a dress I didn't recognize. Expensive. Diamond earrings that definitely weren't from me. "How was your day?" she asked, opening the refrigerator. "Went through some of your dad's journals," I said. "Fishing records." She paused, just for a second. "That's nice. I'm glad you kept something of his." "Yeah. Interesting reading." "I'm sure." She pulled out a bottle of white wine, poured herself a glass. "I'm exhausted. I think I'll take a bath and head to bed early." I watched her walk upstairs. Listened to the water running. Listened to her humming. The same woman who'd been planning my financial destruction for years, humming while she bathed in our house, sleeping in our bed, spending my money on her lover. I pulled out my phone and Googled Patricia Chen, attorney Seattle. Found her immediately. Specialization in forensic accounting and fraud cases. I called the next morning while Jennifer was at the gym. The receptionist put me through immediately. "Mr. Davis," Patricia Chen said. Her voice was professional, warm. "I've been expecting your call. Robert left very detailed instructions. He mentioned you in the journals. He hired me 3 years ago. We've been building a case ever since. Can you come in today?" Her office was in a high-rise overlooking Puget Sound. Patricia was maybe 55. Sharp eyes behind wire-rimmed glasses. She didn't waste time. "Robert wanted to make sure you'd have everything you needed when the truth came out," she said, sliding a thick folder across her desk. "He knew Jennifer would try to take you for everything when you retired. He wanted you to have ammunition." Inside the folder were bank statements going back 8 years, credit card bills for purchases I'd never seen, hotel records, photographs of Jennifer and Mark at restaurants, entering hotels, walking hand in hand through Pike Place Market, text messages recovered from phones Jennifer had thrown away, conversations Robert had somehow retrieved. "Then I can get the condo. Finally have a place that's just ours. 2 more years. Tom retires at 62. We liquidate everything. Tell him the business is struggling. He'll believe it. He doesn't pay attention to any of this stuff." I felt like I'd been punched in the stomach. "How much?" I managed to ask. "From the joint accounts? Approximately $340,000 over 12 years. From your retirement fund? Another $180,000. Jennifer forged your signature on the withdrawal forms. That's criminal fraud. What about the business? That's where it gets complicated." Patricia pulled out another file. "Mark and Jennifer incorporated a second company 8 years ago. Davis Thompson Consulting. The legitimate business you know about. Bills clients at market rates. But most of those same clients also contract with MT Solutions, a shell company owned entirely by Mark and Jennifer. They bill additional services through MT Solutions at inflated rates. The clients don't care since they're passing the cost through to their own customers. But you've been doing half the work while getting paid for about 30% of it. How much?" MT Solutions has grossed approximately $2.4 million over the past 8 years. Money that should have been split 3 ways. Instead, you got nothing. The room spun. I gripped the arms of my chair. "Robert collected evidence of everything," Patricia continued. "Wire fraud, tax fraud, forgery, embezzlement. He hired a private investigator for 2 years. He has documented proof of the affair, including witness statements from hotel staff. He has your wife's text messages planning to leave you penniless while she and Mark start over with your money. Why didn't he just tell me?" Patricia's expression softened. "He tried. 5 years ago, Christmas 2018. Do you remember?" I closed my eyes. A flash of memory. Robert pulling me aside in the kitchen. "Tom, I need to ask you something. Are you absolutely certain everything's okay with Jennifer? With your business? With money? And me?" Laughing. "Robert, everything's great. Best years of my life. Jennifer's amazing. The business is booming. Stop worrying." And the look on his face. Resignation. Sadness. "He knew you wouldn't believe him," Patricia said. "The same thing happened with his own wife. By the time he had proof, she'd already turned Jennifer against him. Told Jennifer he was jealous, controlling, trying to ruin her mother's happiness. Jennifer didn't speak to him for 5 years after the divorce. Robert wasn't going to lose his daughter again, and he wasn't going to watch you be destroyed. So he documented everything instead. What do I do? That depends on what you want. We can file for divorce and present all this evidence. Washington is a community property state, but fraud negates that. You'd likely get most of the assets, and Jennifer could face criminal charges. We can also pursue charges against both Jennifer and Mark for the business fraud. That's federal wire fraud, tax evasion. They could both go to prison. I drove home in a daze. The house looked different. Nothing had changed, but everything had changed. I walked through rooms Jennifer and I had shared for 15 years, and all I could see were lies. That couch she'd insisted we buy, probably picked out with Mark. That painting in the bedroom, probably purchased with my stolen money. The kitchen renovation last year, funded by my retirement. My phone rang. It was my son, Kevin, from my first marriage. He was 38, lived in Portland. Dad, I need to talk to you about something. Okay, don't freak out, but I've been worried about you. About Jennifer. I did some digging. I know, son. Silence. You know, Robert left me his fishing journals. Oh, thank God. Kevin's voice cracked. Dad, I've known for about a year. I saw something at a client's office, some documents that had MT Solutions listed. Your company name was familiar. So I looked into it. When I realized what they were doing, I didn't know how to tell you. You seemed so happy. I was living a lie. I'm so sorry, Dad. What are you going to do? That was the question. I thought about it all night while Jennifer slept beside me, oblivious. Or maybe not oblivious. Maybe she knew I knew. Maybe she was just waiting to see what I'd do. The next morning, I made my decision. Jennifer came downstairs at 7, already dressed for work. I was sitting in the living room. The fishing journals were spread across the coffee table. All 12 of them, plus Robert's last letter, blown up to poster size and framed. She froze in the doorway. Sit down, Jennifer. Tom, what is this? Sit down. She sat. Her face had gone pale. Your father knew, I said. My voice was steady, calm, cold. For 12 years, he documented every lie, every theft, every hotel room, every forged signature, all of it. Tom, I can explain. No, you can't. There's no explanation that makes this okay. You've been stealing from me for 12 years. You've been sleeping with Mark while pretending to be my wife. You've been planning to destroy me financially and leave me with nothing. Her mask slipped. Just for a moment, I saw something ugly underneath. You were never supposed to find out, but I did. Thanks to your father, the man you spent your whole life resenting, the man you called controlling and difficult. He spent his final years protecting me, documenting everything you did so you couldn't destroy me the way your mother destroyed him. My father was a bitter old man who couldn't let go. Your father was a man who loved his daughter enough to spend years building a case against her to protect someone she'd stopped caring about. Do you have any idea what that cost him? Knowing what you were doing, being able to prove it, but not being able to stop it? Jennifer's jaw tightened. What do you want, Tom? Money? Fine. I'll write you a check. We can split everything 50-50 and walk away clean. I laughed. Actually laughed. You think I want your money? You've already stolen over $500,000 from me. The business you built with Mark, using my work, my clients, my reputation, that's worth millions. And you think a 50-50 split makes us even? Then what do you want? I pulled out my phone and showed her the photo. Patricia Chen's business card. I want you to know that I have everything. Every bank statement, every hotel receipt, every text message, every forged signature. Your father hired a forensic accountant 3 years ago. She has copies of everything. Wire fraud, tax fraud, embezzlement, federal crimes. Jennifer, prison time. Her hands started shaking. I've already filed for divorce. You'll be served tomorrow. I've also filed a fraud report with the FBI regarding MT Solutions. Mark will be served with a lawsuit for business fraud. The IRS is getting copies of everything too. You can't do this. I already did. Your father made sure I could. He gave me everything I needed to protect myself. She stood up, her face twisted with rage. My father was a controlling, manipulative bastard who ruined my mother's life, and now he's ruining mine. Your father loved you. Even knowing what you were doing, he still loved you. He just loved me enough not to let you destroy me. Get out of my house. Our house. For now. But not for long. You're going to want to call a lawyer, Jennifer. A good one. You're going to need it. She stormed out. I heard her car screech out of the driveway. Then I called Patricia Chen and told her Jennifer knew. Good, Patricia said. We're ready. The FBI investigator handling the case will want to talk to you this week. I've already provided them with Robert's documentation. They're very interested. The next 6 months were brutal. Jennifer hired an expensive legal team. They tried everything, claimed the evidence was fabricated, that Robert had been senile, that I was trying to frame her out of spite. But Robert's documentation was too thorough. Bank records don't lie. Hotel security footage doesn't lie. Forensic analysis of forged signatures doesn't lie. Mark's wife, who'd divorced him 2 years earlier, came forward with her own evidence. Turns out Robert had contacted her too, had shared information. She testified about Mark's affair with Jennifer, about money Mark had hidden from her during their divorce. The business dissolved. The legitimate clients were horrified when they learned about MT Solutions, about the fraud. Most of them sued. Mark and Jennifer's legal fees mounted into the hundreds of thousands. The FBI offered them a deal. Plead guilty to wire fraud and tax evasion, make full restitution, serve reduced sentences. Jennifer got 4 years. Mark got 5. The divorce was finalized while Jennifer was awaiting sentencing. I got the house, what was left of our savings, and a judgment for $520,000 in damages. Most of it would come from selling Jennifer's assets, liquidating MT Solutions, seizing the condo she'd bought with Mark. I sold the house. Too many ghosts. Bought a smaller place on Lake Washington with a dock. Every morning, I sit on that dock with my coffee and think about Robert. For months after Jennifer went to prison, I was angry. Not at Jennifer. Not even at Mark. At Robert. Why didn't he just tell me? Why did he let me live in ignorance for 12 years? Why did he let me love someone who was betraying me every single day? Then I found another letter. It was tucked into the very first fishing journal he'd given me, the one from 2011. I'd missed it the first time through. Son, if you're reading this, you know everything. You're probably angry at me for not telling you sooner. I understand. I was angry at myself for years. But here's what I learned from my own divorce. You can't force someone to see a truth they're not ready to accept. I tried to tell you. You weren't ready. You loved Jennifer too much. Trusted her too completely. If I'd pushed harder, you would have pushed back. You would have believed her over me. You would have cut me out of your life. Just like Jennifer did, after I divorced her mother. So I had to wait. I had to let you live your life, love your wife, build your happiness, even knowing it was built on lies. I had to watch you be betrayed every single day and smile and pretend everything was fine. Do you know how hard that was? But I also knew that eventually, the truth would have to come out. Jennifer and Mark's plan had an end date, your retirement. When that day came, I wanted you to have a choice, not just to suffer and wonder what happened, but to have power, to have evidence, to have options. I couldn't save you from the pain, son, but I could arm you for the battle. You'll get through this. It won't feel like it at first. You'll question everything, doubt yourself, wonder how you missed the signs, but you'll survive because you're stronger than you know. And when you come out the other side, help the next guy. There are too many men like us, trusting the wrong people, believing the best when we should be protecting ourselves. Share what you learned. Make something good come from this pain. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of how you treated my daughter with kindness, even when she didn't deserve it. I'm proud that you're a man who trusts, who loves completely, who wants to believe the best in people. Those are good qualities. Don't let this destroy that part of you. Just be smarter next time. Trust, but verify. Love, but protect yourself. You're going to be okay. Robert, I cried reading that letter. Cried for Robert, who'd spent his final years carrying the weight of my betrayal along with his own. Cried for the friendship we'd had. Fishing trips where he'd wanted to tell me the truth but couldn't. Cried for the choice he'd made. To document instead of destroy. To prepare instead of prevent. 6 months after Jennifer went to prison, I started volunteering at a men's support group. Divorce recovery, they called it. But really it was men trying to rebuild after betrayal, after financial abuse, after having their lives dismantled by people they'd trusted. I met a man there named David. His wife had drained their retirement accounts and disappeared with her personal trainer. David was 65, broke, living with his daughter because he had nowhere else to go. I had no idea, he kept saying. She handled all the money. I trusted her. I thought about Robert's fishing journals, about 12 years of quiet documentation, about knowledge as power. Let me help you, I said. I taught David how to pull credit reports, how to trace financial records, how to spot the warning signs. We found his wife in Mexico, found proof of the transfers. David sued and won. Not everything, but enough to start over. Word spread. More men came to me. I started running workshops. Financial self-defense, I called them. How to protect yourself without destroying your marriage. How to trust but verify. How to maintain your own financial awareness, even when you have a partner you love. My son Kevin helped me create a website. We called it The Fishing Journal in honor of Robert. Men could submit their stories, share warning signs, connect with resources. We partnered with lawyers like Patricia Chen, forensic accountants, private investigators. On what would have been my and Jennifer's 20th anniversary, I got a letter from her. She was up for early release, wanted me to write a letter of support to the parole board. I didn't respond, but I did go visit her once. She looked older in her prison uniform, harder. The blonde hair was growing out gray, the expensive manicures long gone. "Thank you for coming," she said. We sat across from each other in the visiting room, a table between us. "I'm not here to support your parole. I know." She looked down at her hands. "Why are you here?" "To tell you that your father saved me. Not from you. From being destroyed by what you did. He gave me the tools to survive, to fight back, to protect myself. And because of him, I'm helping other men survive too." She was quiet for a long moment. My father always loved his games, his strategies, his quiet manipulations. That's not what he did. He documented truth. There's a difference. Is there? He could have just told you. Instead, he made it into this elaborate plan. This grand reveal. Very dramatic. He tried to tell me. I didn't listen. So he gave me something I couldn't ignore. Evidence. Facts. Proof. That's not manipulation. That's protection. You really believe that? I know that. And you know what? I'm not angry anymore. Not at you. Not at him. I'm grateful. Because yes, you betrayed me. Yes, you stole from me. Yes, you planned to destroy me. But your father made sure you couldn't. He turned your betrayal into my salvation. Jennifer's eyes filled with tears. I loved you, you know. At first. Before Mark. Before everything got complicated. Maybe you did. But love isn't just a feeling, Jennifer. It's a choice. Every day, you chose Mark. You chose money. You chose lies. Your father chose me. Every fishing trip, every journal entry, every piece of documentation. He chose to protect me even when it meant gathering evidence against his own daughter. That's love. I stood to leave. "Tom," she said, her voice breaking, "I'm sorry. For all of it. I know you are. But sorry doesn't give me back 12 years. It doesn't return the $500,000. It doesn't restore the trust. Sorry is just a word." I walked out and haven't been back. Last month, I got a call from a man named Richard. He'd found the Fishing Journal website. His father had recently passed away and left him a box of old calendar planners. Richard thought they were just appointment books until he started reading the margins. "My wife's been having an affair with my business partner for 7 years, Richard said, his voice shaking. "My dad knew. He documented everything. Meeting times, hotel names, money transfers. Why didn't he just tell me? I smiled, sad but understanding. Because you weren't ready to hear it. But he made sure you'd have what you needed when you were. What do I do now? First, you call a lawyer. I'll give you Patricia Chen's number. Then you protect yourself. Document everything you can. And then, when you're ready, you help the next guy who needs it. Like you're helping me, like someone helped me. Robert died thinking he'd failed his daughter, failed his family, failed at relationships. But he saved me in the most important way. He didn't just give me evidence of my wife's betrayal. He gave me proof that someone cared enough to spend years protecting me, even knowing I might never understand until it was too late. I keep one fishing journal framed in my living room now. The last one he gave me, January 2023. On the back cover, his final entry, "Everything comes out eventually. Make sure you're ready when it does." Below that, I added my own note. Everything came out. I was ready. Thank you, Robert. I finally understand. If you're reading this, and something feels wrong in your marriage, in your business partnership, in your finances, trust that feeling. Ask questions. Look at the documents. Don't let anyone tell you that love means blind trust, because it doesn't. Real love is what Robert showed me. Love that protects. Love that prepares you. Love that gives you the truth, even when the truth takes 12 years to reveal. Check your bank statements. Look at your credit reports. Know where your money is going. It's not being paranoid. It's being smart. It's being safe. And if you find out you've been betrayed, know this. You will survive. It won't feel like it at first. You'll be angry and hurt and lost. But you will survive because you're stronger than you know. I survived. The men I help are surviving. You can too. Robert gave me fishing journals. I'm giving you permission to ask questions, to demand transparency, to protect yourself. Take it. Use it. And when you're ready, help the next man who needs it. That's how we survive. That's how we heal. That's how we make sure the people who tried to destroy us don't win. We keep going. We help each other. We document the truth. And we never, ever stop reading the margins.